exist in today's regulations.
Thank you very much, Chief. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Shockley is next.
Mr. Chairman, Jim Smith, the sheriffs and peace officers.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Smith, you represent the sheriffs and peace officers. I imagine you've discussed this at length.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Shockley, oh yes, last year and a half.
Mr. Chairman, let's assume for a moment that it was good public policy to have some sort of medical marijuana available legally. Does your organization know of any way that it could be properly policed, which seems to be one of the big problems?
Well, Mr. Chairman, Senator Shockley, thanks. As I said, we spent a lot of time with the Children and Families Interim Committee when they announced their intention to get involved in this and to see if the current situation could be straightened out or rationalized some way, and that was about a year ago. So we attended all the meetings that they had. They appointed working group, and they had a subcommittee, full committee, and we were involved every step of the way. And what came out of that was House Bill 68. And we stood in this room on January 21st and supported House Bill 68. And the written testimony is with Ms. Schindler, but that's what I said. We came with three concerns. One, looking for that clear, bright line. The guys just wanted to know what's legal and what's not. Secondly, there was some interest in local governments, cities and counties, being able to have some authority to regulate these activities in their jurisdictions. And the third concern was over youth access to medical marijuana. Those were kind of the three priorities we brought to those discussions. What came out of it was House Bill 68. You know, we thought that began to rationalize the situation, but House Bill 68 has not been acted upon by House Human Services. I mean, it's just sitting there awaiting their executive action. And, you know, not knowing what might or might not happen to that, Representative Milburn, Speaker Milburn's bill had a lot of attraction because it certainly resolved, it cut the Gordian knot. I mean, in terms of the clear, bright line, it resolves it. You know, I think if this committee is interested in taking a look at House Bill 68, if it ever gets over here, if House Human Services looks at it, we'd re-engage on that. If repeal happens and there's an effort to do over and go back to square one and start building the regulatory framework that could work, we'd be very happy to be involved in that.
Mr. Chairman, may I follow that up very briefly? So I'm familiar with, have some familiarity with House Bill 68. So if something like that were to pass, your organization thinks that that regulation contained in that statute or something similar, or bill, or something similar could be policed properly?
Mr. Chairman, Senator, yes, walking in here in early January, we thought there were a lot of good provisions within House Bill 68. I mean, it required a thorough background check that included fingerprints for anybody who was going to be in the business as a licensed provider. There was explicit language in House Bill 68 that gives law enforcement authorities the authority and ability to inspect any licensed provider. There were specific prohibitions against anybody under the supervision of the Department of Corrections or under the supervision of the youth court from obtaining a card in the first place or becoming a licensed provider in the second. So there were a number of specific provisions in House Bill 68 that we thought began to help rationalize the situation and give law enforcement, Chief Muir and sheriffs I work for, some clarity and guidance with this.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Smith, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I don't see, is Mr. Laszloffy out there? I guess not. Thank you.